You receive a message from Oleg, who hopes you can visit Natasha and see what she's up to. Every day she works tirelessly to look after the patients, so Oleg hopes you can offer her some help. Let's go see Natasha then.
You came at a good time. There is something you can help me with.
Oh?
According to my patient records, there are a few that haven't come for their follow-up visits. It happens from time to time, but never as regularly as this. I'm a bit concerned. Have you heard of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society?
Sounds suspicious?
I agree. Generally speaking, mutual aid societies like these allow patients to share their experiences and support each other. It's a way of countering all the negative emotional effects of being ill. But there might be more to this society than that. I've got a few patients who have started refusing treatment since joining the society. It certainly makes you wonder. The most suspicious part is that no matter how much I ask, no one's ever willing to tell me anything about it. And that's where you might be able to help.
Okay. What should I do?
Pretend to be a patient. Help me investigate this so-called mutual aid society and find out exactly what they're up to. If I find out they're preventing me from doing my job, or if they're bringing harm to my patients, I won't just sit on the sidelines.
Understandable.
Can I entrust you with this task?
Sure, no problem. Leave it with me.
This little clinic has huge numbers of patients to deal with every day. If I didn't have you here to help me out, I wouldn't be able to focus on giving them quality care. Good luck. I'll be sure to thank you properly when you're back.
Aw, okay.
You. I've seen you in the clinic. You run errands for Natasha, right?
Sometimes. Well, there goes my cover.
Your cover? What are you talking about? Let me guess. Natasha wants you to persuade me to go back for a follow-up visit, right?
How did he know?
What's the use? I'm terminal. Life will be over before I know it.
Was that Natasha's diagnosis?
Of course not. I read it in a book. Every book I read has descriptions that match my symptoms exactly. I can diagnose myself with a dozen incurable diseases before I get halfway through. For people in my situation, a follow-up visit is just a waste of time and money. Not to mention medicine.
Are you serious?
What else is there to say? Natasha was seeing me free of charge. She said I could keep a tab running for as long as I liked, then pay it back when I had the opportunity. I guess I'm too proud.
Money's one thing, but life?
You think I need you to tell me? Don't try and persuade me. I've already thought this through. Dr. Vash never charged me anything either. Natasha's great, but Vash was always my
Vash? Why don't you go to him anymore?
You think I don't want to? I heard that he passed away.
Oh.
I should keep my voice down. Don't go telling anyone else about this next bit.
Won't?
I heard that Natasha had something to do with Dr. Vash's
What?
death. They say she was jealous that her brother had stolen her patients, so she...
Oh, it's her brother? And you believe that?
It's just something people were saying. I don't think Dr.
I don't
Natasha
think
would
she
do
would
like
do that either.
Forget I said anything. Since Dr. Natasha sent you over specially, I'll do her a favor. I'll go to the clinic for my follow-up a little later.
Oh, let's go.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Avoiding a follow-up visit due to money issues. I should find another patient to talk to.
Why haven't I gone for my follow-up visit? Are you a patient too, or did Dr. Natasha send you over?
What makes you say that?
Who else would care about people like me? I don't need Dr. Natasha's help now. Tell her to save her worries and medicine for other people.
Did you have a dispute with her?
A dispute? No. She's the only kind-hearted doctor in the underworld. I just don't really approve of her methods, that's all. Too idealistic and no real efficacy. She tries to save everyone, which means she can't save anyone. In the end, it's the patients who suffer, and she just tires herself out. Miners like me don't have time for lengthy treatments. If I can't take something and get right back to work, I may as well lie down and wait for death to come knocking. Did you, know Dr. Vash? His wonder medicine is cheap, and the results are immediate. You just need to, be willing to, take a little risk.
Risk?
Dr. Vash's medicine is different. Lots of people make a full recovery after taking it. But some get worse. And the unlucky ones check out early.
Oh, damn.
Even knowing the risk, most people fight tooth and nail to get hold of the medicine. You know why?
They're willing to gamble with their life?
You're smarter than you look. When life forces you to the edge, you'll throw yourself at any opportunity, even if it means risking it all. For people like us, a slow and torturous treatment is the same as a death sentence. If it's between that and a quick result, we'll take the latter. Forget it. Why am I telling you all this? Dr. Vash is dead anyway.
Where can I go to get this wonder medicine?
What? Now you're interested in the wonder medicine? Listen up. The Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society is still selling that medicine. I can tell you where they trade, but there's a rule.
A rule?
You must not tell any of this to Dr. Natasha.
Oh.
You hear? If you break the rule, you'll face the consequences.
What are the consequences?
Take this. It's the address. A final warning. Do not reveal this information to Natasha.
I know where to find the wonder medicine. What should I do next? That patient didn't want me to tell Natasha about this. Should I listen to him?
That's a good question. Let's investigate first. We can tell her after. Hey guys.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
To buy medicine from the Mutual Aid Society?
Medicine? Oh, you mean Dr. Vash's wonder medicine, right?
Yeah.
You're the same as everyone else that comes through here. If you want medicine, you don't need to go any further. You talk to me. And we only take cash. This ain't a charity.
I heard the medicine here is pretty cheap.
The Mutual Aid Society sets the price. It might be different from Dr. Vash and his handouts, but it's a darn sight cheaper than that clinic woman's medicine. Well, are you buying or not? Spit it out. I don't have time for chit-chat. Wait a minute. Your clothes. Are you friends with that doctor woman?
How do you know?
I've seen you at the clinic before.
Oh my god.
Get lost. Now. If you're a friend of that woman, then you're not welcome here. Shop's closed today. No customers.
Wait. What about our medicine? We've been waiting for ages.
Get lost, all of you. Save your breath and come back some other time.
Oh man. Explain what you found out about the Mutual Aid Society.
So the Mutual Aid Society found Vash's research results, and now they're selling this so-called wonder medicine to patients. Any organization doing something like this is interested in more than just mutual aid.
The patients wanted me to keep it a secret from you.
I'm not surprised. They'll know that I'm completely against them using this wonder medicine. What Vash left behind is nothing more than reagents and experimental byproducts. The word medicine doesn't apply here. I warned the patients countless times, but seems like they had their heads in the sand all along. No wonder they kept the Mutual Aid Society a secret from me. I'm guessing the patients you met weren't exactly singing my praises, which is why you tracked the dealer down and made inquiries first. I don't blame you. After everything you heard, I'm grateful you came back to find me. Your trust is important to me. I still haven't worked out how to convey it to you. The issues surrounding Vash. My relationship with him. The things he's done in the underworld. It's a long story.
The people selling that stuff are devils.
Be it Vash or the Mutual Aid Society, forces like that can take full advantage of the typical underworld state of mind. Let me tell you a story. There was once a brilliant overworld doctor with unmatched pharmaceutical skill. The doctor was set on developing a medicine that would steel the human body against the cold. He named his research project Blizzard Immunity. But his research met with obstruction time and time again, the biggest factor being a lack of test subjects. Tampering with the human immune system carries huge risk, and nobody in the overworld was willing to submit themselves to such experiments. As such, the doctor got in touch with his sister in the underworld, claiming that he wanted to support the medical effort below ground.
And then?
Naturally, his sister was overjoyed. After all, as far as medicine was concerned, her brother had always been the standard she'd strive to attain. She brought her brother underground and entrusted him with her clinic and laboratory. I think you know what comes next.
It's hard to believe he was your brother.
Issuing free medicine to the needy was just Vash's way of conducting experiments on his test subjects. On some level, his reagents were able to alleviate the patient's suffering, but nothing more. They would forget their pain for a while and neglect their regular treatment plans. The result? Patients with mild illness would attribute their recovery to the so-called wonder medicine, while patients with serious illness would quickly deteriorate, and sometimes die. I cannot accept that their fate was simply the result of misfortune or risk. No true doctor would accept that. That's why I want you to help me recover all the wonder medicine. Are you willing to take on this assignment?
Anything for you. Somebody has to do the right thing.
Thank you. This will be hard for the people that have come to rely on the wonder medicine. But it's up to us to remove this false hope. You mustn't hesitate. Recover every last reagent that Vash left behind. I'll take responsibility for the consequences. Don't worry about that. Go. I'll be waiting for the good news.
I'm back.
Stop right there. No one's allowed up ahead.
Hand over the wonder medicine.
Oh, playing the hero, are we? Is this a stick-up? Wait a minute, you're that clinic woman's lackey, aren't you? Did you think the Mutual Aid Society didn't have its own intel? She's after our medicine and sent you here to smash the place, right? Men, look lively and send this idiot packing already.
Bring it on. The old box has some medicine labeled with experiment numbers. This must be the wonder medicine the Mutual Aid Society was talking about. You suddenly hear footsteps behind you.
Blast it! What did we ever do to you? Why are you taking away our moneymaker?
Moneymaker? So you admit it then? You're not in this to save lives, you're in it to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here? Oh, as if we didn't have enough trouble already.
Selling fake medicine with false kindness. You should have expected trouble to find you sooner or later. I have a responsibility to protect the well-being of my patients. Or to put it another way, I must eradicate any and all threats to them.
Tell them, sister.
You can't save everyone. The underworld is teeming with sickness. How could you possibly pull it off?
You're right. I can't save everyone alone. But if I must, I would sacrifice food and sleep to treat them. The debt that Vash owes to the underworld rests with me. All I can do is help everyone to the best of my ability. To the very end.
So stubborn. In that sense, you're no different from your crazy brother.
Hey.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Your actions today have saved many underworld families.
Of course.
I'll find a way to dispose of Vash's leftover reagents. Next time the Mutual Aid Society wants to whip up a quack cure, they'll be out of luck. Let's go back to town. I still owe those patients an explanation.
Oh.
Looks like the patients have surrounded Natasha. Let's hear what they're saying.
What are you saying, Doctor? The wonder medicine is out of supply?
Correct. That medicine is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wildfire has cut off the supply chain. Your ailments need rational, scientific treatment. Relying on pseudo-medicines will only worsen your condition.
Rational and scientific, huh? The way I see it, you're just jealous you lost your patients.
How dare you speak to Dr. Natasha like that? Where are your manners?
Ma'am, please, think for a moment. How can you still be siding with her? That wonder medicine was working fine for us, and now it's gone because she wants it to be? How can she?
I understand your anger, but as your doctor, I ask you to trust my judgment. I will find a way to access more medical resources and help you through your struggles. If I must, I'll get help from the surface.
The surface. I almost forgot that you were an overworld big shot.
Hey.
Have some respect for Dr. Natasha.
If it's respect she wants, she better find a replacement for the wonder medicine fast. If not, I'll tell everyone about how she set up Dr. Vash. I'm out of here.
Go then. Stupid ass. Oh.
Oh, you're here. I apologize. That must have made for uncomfortable viewing.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. If I were in his shoes, I may well have had the same reaction. Now I need to focus on treating the patients and dispelling their doubts. Let's leave it for now. I'll feel a lot better once I've gotten rid of this mess that Vash left us. Now's as good a time as any to tell you Vash's whole story. If there's anything you want to know, don't hesitate to ask.
Did he really pass away?
That's a long story. Ever since he was little, Vash had always wanted to develop a medicine called blizzard immunity. He saw the human body's vulnerability to cold as a disease, and wanted to cure it so that humanity could survive the eternal freeze. If he succeeded, people would be able to leave Belobog and rebuild their homes in the snow plains.
Do you share his vision?
To be honest, I never understood how he'd achieve that blizzard immunity. But I do admire that vision and perseverance. I always chose to believe him, ever since I was a kid. I knew his research in the overworld wasn't going well. I used to write to him and ask him to come down and stay with the kids in the orphanage for a while. I thought it might help take his mind off his research. But I was too young to know what long-term frustration could do to a person. It changed him. In a terrible way.
Changed him?
During his stay in the underworld, he met patients affected by fragmentum corrosion with mild symptoms. Compared with non-patients, their bodies reacted differently to hot and cold. And that fascinated Vash. He began to simulate mild fragmentum corrosion, thinking that it could lead to breakthroughs in developing blizzard immunity.
I see.
Those reagents of his aren't cure-alls for critical illness. That doesn't exist. Vash made the reagents to mitigate the suffering of his patients in the short term. A convenient way for him to observe changes in his test subjects. But behind my back, he had been doling out the reagents to residents who were kept in the dark. When it finally struck me that something was wrong, his terrible research had already turned him into a madman.
Did nothing seem strange to you at that time?
I trusted Vash with all my heart. Funny, isn't it? And pathetic. When his experiments were exposed, I spent a long time with Oleg discussing how to handle the aftermath. This was shortly before the underworld was sealed off. There were hardly any Silvermane guards remaining. We spent ages trying to find a way to handle Vash. In the end, Oleg suggested that we banish him and permanently deny him access to the underworld. Had his victims found out the truth, Vash would have been torn to pieces by furious underworlders. I was young and weak at the time. Oleg must have worried about how I'd react to such a scenario, or he wouldn't have suggested banishment.
You two did the right thing.
I hope so. The day I learned the truth was the day I no longer recognized my brother. Oleg and I took Vash to the overworld. He made his final request to us. To take him outside the city to the snow plains he'd always wanted to conquer. His figure gradually disappeared into the snow curtain.
Oh, so...
I've been telling myself that Vash is dead.
We actually
since.
don't know if he's dead then.
Forgive me. I'm not good at telling stories. Vash was a terrible brother and a worse doctor. That's all you need to know. Let's call it a day. Thank you for cleaning up the mess my brother left behind. Here, for your trouble.
Aw, poor Natasha.
Can I talk to you for a moment? I have a favor to ask. Something... rather personal.
Sure, ask ahead.
I want to thank you again for recovering the Wonder Medicine. It meant a lot to me. But disposing of Vash's reagents isn't enough to solve the medical supply shortage. Many of my patients can't be seen promptly, and my stock of medicine is running low. Thanks to you, the route to the overworld through the furnace core has reopened. I'd like to use it to return to the surface and see if I can get some help.
Help from who?
I knew you'd be interested. Remember my adoptive parents I mentioned to you a while ago? After the reopening of the furnace core passage, I had an idea. I wrote a letter and asked Sampo to deliver it to my parents' old address. I didn't have high hopes, but amazingly, Sampo brought me my mother's reply.
Okay. Sampo being a gentleman? A rare occurrence.
That's exactly what I thought when I got her letter. Mom said they still live at the old house, but they're not working on the front lines anymore. They should still have some connections in the medical school and the hospital, though. If I'm lucky, maybe I can convince them to send extra medical supplies to the underworld. Of course, that's not the only reason for me to go back to the surface. I can't wait to visit my parents again. And I can tell from my mom's letter that they feel the same.
Let's go see them.
If possible, I would like you to go with me.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Wonderful. That's such a relief. I've sent another letter to my mom telling her to find us near Fountain Plaza. Don't worry. I know my way around the administrative district. This place doesn't seem to have changed much from what I remember.
Oh.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I got distracted watching the crowds. Look at the busy flow of people. Life in the overworld carries on as usual, as if nothing has happened. We're a little early. I've got an idea. I want to buy my mom a gift. You're more of an overworld local than I am now. Any suggestions?
How about some flowers?
Flowers, huh? That's a great idea. I've been underground for so long, I almost forgot what flowers smell like. Flowers it is, then. Can you lead the way?
Sure. Follow me.
May I have a look?
Yes.
Sunshines. Nice pick. Dad's not young anymore. He probably doesn't have to do operations solo these days. I hope he's looking after himself. I knew you'd pick the right flowers. Mom and Dad will be so happy.
Aw.
Let's go. My mom will be there soon. Best not to leave old folks waiting. Mom!
Aw.
Nat?
Oh, that's so cute.
Is that you?
Oh my god.
Come here, my darling.
Oh.
It's been too long, Mom. Too long. Sorry. I don't usually get this emotional. How have you been, Mr. Oswell? Thank you so much for taking care of my parents these last 10 years.
I'm doing fine, Miss Natasha. Just fine. Look at you. You've blossomed into a fine young woman. Such a pity that your father...
What?
Dad, I was wondering where
What?
he is.
No,
he...
wait. No. Don't tell me.
It was 3 years ago, Nat. No
No.
need to be sad. He passed away very peacefully.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. For 10 years, I left you both in the overworld. Mr. Oswell, I'm sorry you had to bear all this weight.
Don't be, my dear. It is my honor to look after your parents.
It's not your fault that they sealed off the passage between the surface and the underground. Don't be so harsh on yourself, daughter.
Oh, Natasha.
Oh, Mom.
Oh, man.
I have so much to say to you. But, there's an urgent matter that needs your help. I apologize. I wish this were a happier reunion. But there are too many suffering with sickness in the underworld. You're the only person I can go to for help.
Oh, there's no need to apologize, my child. I've heard of your deeds down there, and I know you've saved many lives. Your father? He would be proud of you. We have many connections in the medical academy. No matter what you need,
Why?
medicine or data, I should be able to get it for you. Be the doctor you always were, Nat. We have all the time in the world to catch up later.
Oh, I feel bad for her. Oh, man. She's a great mother.
She's always been there for me. With her help, we'll be able to ease the underworld's medical supply shortage. That's good news for patients who'd lost hope. I really wish I could spend the whole day talking to her about the old days. But sadly, now is not the time. Let's head back to the underworld. We need to spread the good news.
Miss Natasha, one moment, please.
Oh.
Mr. Oswell? I thought you headed back home with Mom. How come...
I apologize, Miss Natasha. As a matter of fact, there's something I have to tell you in person.
Something that Mom isn't supposed to know?
You haven't changed a bit. Smart and sensitive. The fact of the matter is, in the first 2 years after the passage was closed off, I received many letters from Master Vash.
What? Letters from Vash? Are you certain, Mr. Oswell?
Of course, miss. I recognized his handwriting. You'll see what I mean when you read the letters yourself. Actually, those letters were intended for your eyes only. The delivery address was the underworld, but because of the sealing off of the passageway, the letters were sent back to your old house, to me.
I don't understand. Did you not show them to my parents?
I'm sorry, miss. I opened one of them out of curiosity. Master Vash stressed in the letter that your parents must not know what happened to him. That's why I put the letters in a secure place, waiting to hand them to you when we could meet again.
What a good guy.
I'm not sure if I did the right thing, Miss Natasha. I just didn't want your parents to feel that their son was so close and yet so far away.
Do you have the letters on you, Mr. Oswell? Let me take a look.
Of course, here. You can tell it's the young master's handwriting.
The cold has revealed to me my arrogance. How can a child who grew up in warmth ever begin to comprehend a cure to bitter cold? Vash didn't give up on his research into blizzard immunity, even after he left the city. I live in abandoned houses under broken roofs and continue my experiments. One step after another, I've made breakthroughs. I'm trembling, not because of the cold, but because I can feel I'm getting closer to the answer I seek.
Okay.
If what's in here is true, then Vash must have built a lab somewhere in the snow plains.
So he's
And
alive?
even made progress in his research. But how can that be?
Do you believe it?
There'd be no point in him lying to me in the letters. Still, it's possible he may have gone completely insane before he started writing them. I need to leave the city to recover my brother's research data. Are you willing to come with me?
Yes, sure thing.
Leave the city? You are taking too much risk, Miss Natasha.
I know, Mr. Oswell. But I have a hero with me. She saved the underworld. I'm
Don't mention it.
Right? Vash, it's been so many years. Are you still alone in the blizzard? Oh.
I wonder if he is
I'm
alive.
just talking to myself. Let's go. It's time to face my past head-on. Here, this looks like lab equipment. Maybe Vash left it behind. Huh. Still, it's all just used test tubes, beakers, and other vessels. There's no sign of any sample reagents or lab notes for that matter. Oh, I know my brother. He's meticulous when it comes to medical experiments. There's no way he wouldn't document his results. I want to go deeper into the snow plains. Can you press on any further?
Sure thing.
Gosh, the temperature keeps getting lower. We can't give up halfway.
I can warm you up if you'd like.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Don't you underestimate the leader of Wildfire. Let's press on then. This may not sound like me, but I hope that deity the architects worship can grant us some luck.
Poor girl, she's really freezing. Oh.
Citizens? Outside the walls? Hey, you two! Stop right there!
That's a Silvermane guard. Is he yelling at us?
He sure is.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten. No one can leave Belobog without authorization.
I do that all the time.
Looks like we need to talk our way out of this.
I can't say you sound suspicious, but I can't just take your word for it either.
Captain, look at her necklace. Maybe she's telling the truth.
It's the same as Dr. Vash's.
My brother does wear an identical necklace. Do you know him?
Are you really his sister? Dr. Vash saved a lot of my soldiers.
Saved your soldiers?
Yes. Take a look at the guards patrolling outside the city. All of them are risking their lives, aside from the monster-related casualties. We lose men to frostbite every year, but thanks to the medicine the doctor leaves us, my soldiers are able to withstand the cold. They can make camps in the snow plains as footholds for our patrols. If it weren't for the doctor, we would have long since frozen to death.
Medicine. Blizzard immunity.
Where's Vach now?
We don't know. Dr. Vash is elusive. My squad only met him once, and he didn't seem like the talkative type. He leaves the medicine at specific locations, and our patrols go there to collect it. The medicine is extremely potent. A small vial could keep someone warm for a week. Speaking of the doctor, it's been a long time since we last saw him.
Oh.
At least 2 or 3 years.
Maybe he's not alive.
Alive as well.
So he really did have a breakthrough in the snow plains. Oh, did the medicine have any side effects for you?
Side effects? Not that I know of. If there were a problem, it'd be that we couldn't go back to the city until the effect had worn off.
Because the city would be too hot for us. We'd break a sweat just sitting idle.
Thanks for the information. We're planning to head deeper into the snow plains to find my brother.
Seems like you've made up your mind. I'd really like to send some of my men with you, but we can't leave our posts. Here, take this medicine. If what you two told me is true, I'm sure you're more than capable of handling yourselves out there.
Thank you, Captain. We'll take it with us.
What did we get? What's this?
These are records of his experiments. It's Vash's handwriting. This must be the location of his final lab. Come have a look. His last experiment was nearly 2 years ago? What happened after that? But his notes seem to suggest he was working to improve blizzard immunity. Brother, where are you? What happened?
Let's call it a day.
Sorry. I needed to take a moment. After seeing the letters Mr. Oswald kept for me, I was hoping things might have ended differently. I shouldn't have asked you to come with me to such a dangerous place.
You miss him, right?
I do.
That's so sad.
I can't forgive him for what he's done. Nor can I say I don't miss him. Maybe I should feel glad. The medicine might not have been what he wanted it to be, but it came to something. Maybe he found some inner peace.
People will remember him.
They'll remember him as a murderer, as someone whose evil experiments brought great harm to the innocent.
Never
Vash
mind.
doesn't deserve to be remembered as a doctor. I know that very well. But maybe this blizzard immunity can now bring benefit to others. Even if it was made by a monster. Human beings really are conflicted life forms.
What now?
I'll take his records and data with me, and continue what he started. One day the world will see a perfect blizzard immunity. Before we leave, I'd like to ask for another favor. The last one, I promise.
What now? What's this? A headstone. Oh.
That should do. Hope it can withstand the snow.
Is Vash worth you doing all this for him?
I don't know. It's just something that suddenly occurred to me. People write things on headstones, right? Let me think. Here lies Vash. My brother. That'll do. Thank you for helping me. I feel like a great weight has been lifted. So long, brother. Hope you don't forget Dad's teaching. A doctor does not get to choose his or her patient, my children. Remember, never say no to those who come to you for help. Never.
Oh, that was really sad. Poor Natasha. I really like her character. It's so sad that she has to go through all this. So that was it for now. It was really interesting to know more about Natasha. And I can't wait to play all of the other companion missions as well and get to know all the other characters as well. Stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching, guys. It was a pleasure as always. And I'll see you in the next video.